Hello everyone, my name is SolarFury and today we are back with another Clash Royale video. Super excited to be back with you guys on the channel, and it's that time of month again. It is time for another round of balance changes. It's at the end of March. Balance changes usually roll around at the beginning of each month. So today I'm going to speculate on what the balance changes will be for this next balance update. I have 5 cards that I believe need to be nerfed and 5 cards that I believe need to be buffed. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with the nerfs. The first card that I believe needs to be nerfed is the Flying Machine. Right now with Lava Clone, the Flying Machine is one of the most dominant cards in the entire game. Not with just Lava Clone, but also with Fireball Bait, because that's what it's perfect at doing. You can bait out a Fireball and then go in with your Royal Hogs or your Musketeer or whatever the heck you want. So one thing I actually want to happen with the Flying Machine is either a slight range reduction from either 6 tiles to 5.5 tiles, or either a slight health reduction so that way it maybe dies 1 tick faster to poison. That is how I would balance the Flying Machine for this balance change. Next up on my nerf list, we have the Baby Dragon. Again, Lava Clone. That makes the Baby Dragon popular as well because it's a very nice supporting card paired with the Lava Hound. Also, really, Baby Dragon, it is the highest use splash rate card in the entire game. I believe it has a 36% usage rate in grand challenges, which is absolutely insane to think about. So I think nerfing the Baby Dragon, maybe giving it a slight health reduction, if I can speak. I think that would be a nerf to the Baby Dragon, a nerf to Lava Clone, a nerf to P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam, a nerf to all other crazy kinds of archetypes like Royal Giant as well, but also be an indirect buff to some other splasher cards like the Wizard and the Executioner. So yeah, Baby Dragon right there. Next card I believe needs a nerf is the Bandit. The Bandit has been dominant for the longest time with all kinds of bridge spam decks like P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam, just really anything bridge spam related. You can make the weirdest bridge spam deck. It's probably going to have Bandit in it. It's also popular in Fireball Bait as well. So I believe with the Bandit, it could use a shorter dash distance. And then maybe a reduced damage thing as well for its dash and for its regular attack. Because for 3 Elixir, I feel like the Bandit is probably one of the best bang for your buck cards in the entire game. Because it's a win condition for 3 Elixir. Like, there's not a lot of cards that do that. In fact, I think it's really the only card in the game that could be considered a win condition that costs 3 Elixir as well. So that is what I'm going to do for the Bandit. Give it a big fat nerf. Next up, we have the Ram Rider on the nerf list. Again, Ram Rider, well, with the nerf to the Battle Ram and the Barbarians, this really allowed the Ram Rider to surface into the meta. The past meta, it really had been surfacing as well because people started to realize the hidden value of this card, both on offense and on defense. That's right, the Ram Rider can fully counter a Hog Rider and a Balloon. But I believe that the Ram Rider needs a snare duration decrease. I think that would help it out a lot. And it would also help cards like the Battle Ram and other cards like that. Kind of the bridge spam cards, sort of like the Hog Rider and the Battle Ram. It would kind of help them in the meta as well. So that's all I have for the nerfs. So let's go ahead and hop right into the buffs. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and take a look at 4 cards that I believe need to be buffed in the balance changes. So, number 1 for me is going to have to be the Wall Breakers. Wall Breakers were buffed in the last balance changes. I think it definitely helped. It allowed both of them to connect to the tower without anything stopping them. But the Wall Breakers, they still really aren't viable. They are still at the bottom of the barrel in grand challenges in terms of usage rates and win rates. They have a 26% usage rate, or 26% win rate, and a 0% usage rate. A 26% usage rate would be crazy. They would be fine with that. But I believe that the Wall Breakers need to add a Death Bomb, not 2 Death Bombs, but kind of 1 Death Bomb to split between the 2. I think that would help out a lot. It would give them some better defensive capabilities as well, as they could be used as an alternative to take care of swarm units. Say you don't have a Zap, a Snowball, or a Log and Cycle. I think that would be definitely a decent alternative. Next card is going to be one that really it doesn't see any love outside of graveyard decks, to be honest. And this is going to be the Bowler. Really, the Bowler is only viable in terms of Splash Yard when you think about it. And even then, it can still be pretty easy to counter. So I believe that the Bowler, it could use a faster attack speed. Just maybe like a 0.3 to 0.2 seconds. Nothing too extravagant. But the bowler, again, it's kind of like the wall breakers. It's at the bottom 10 in terms of all cards and grand challenges. It has a 1% usage rate and only a 37% win rate. So I think a slight buff to the bowler would really help it out. And heck, maybe even Splash Yard would come back into the meta. Next up, we have the Zappies. I put this, I think, on my last 3 balance changes list, and they still haven't received any love at all. So the Zappies, again, I'm just going to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. Revert the initial attack speed nerf that was given to them all the way back in September of 2018. Ever since then, the Zappies have not been viable at all. And I think there's such a cool card in the game. I just hate to see them at the state where they are, where they really just aren't viable really in any decks outside of Fireball Bait. Because it's such a cool card. You can literally perma-stun a tank to the point where it literally can't move. And I just think that concept is so cool. So the last card that I have for buffs are going to be the Royal Recruits. Recruits have been buffed in like the past 3 balance changes, I believe, but I believe they could use another buff. Because again, like the bowler and the wall breakers, they're in the bottom 10 in terms of usage rates, and their win rate is actually solid at 49%, but they still only have a 1% usage rate. So I think the Royal Recruits could use a slight damage increase. That would help their case out a lot, because I think the Royal Recruits are such a fun card as well. They add a new mechanic, like it's the only card that when you take down a tower, you can't place it on the opponent's side. So I think it's pretty cool. This card has such good defensive capabilities for split lane, for bridge spam. This card can really help defend anything when paired with another card such as a flying machine and a barbarian hut. Like, nothing is getting through all of that right there. Alright, so that's it for the buffs that we have, but there's one more card that I would like to mention that I believe needs a total rework, not a buff or a nerf, it just needs a total rework, and this is going to be my favorite card in the entire game, the Elite Barbarians. Ever since Elite Barbarians have been introduced in the game, they've just been a pain in the butt to balance. They've either been super broken or like just super irrelevant when looking at them. Right now, Royal Recruits, or not Royal Recruits, Elite Barbarians, they have a 1% usage rate and only a 17% win rate in grand challenges, which is really, really poor. So I want Supercell to give the Elite Barbarians what they did to the Royal Giant. I want them to make it so that the card is a lot easier to counter, but at the same time making it viable. Like, I believe the Royal Giant, what they did to the Royal Giant was perfect. They reduced its range by, I think, tile and a half, but they increased its damage by a whole bunch. So this meant that really the Royal Giant was a lot more balanced, and really the Royal Giant, I believe, is one of the best win conditions in the game right now. So I want the Elite Barbarians to have that same treatment. So here's what I want them to have. Here's what I want them to do to Elite Barbarians, if I could speak. I believe that they need to reduce the elixir cost of Elite Barbarians down to 5 elixir. And if they're not going to do that, I believe they need to bump it up to 7 and add 1 extra Elite Barbarian. And then after that, I believe they need to nerf the overall stats to the Elite Barbarians, kind of like they did with the regular Barbarians. Maybe nerf their attack speed, maybe nerf their damage, maybe nerf their health. One of the 3 I think would definitely help them out. Even though it's a nerf, I think it really is a buff because it's making them just more viable. I mean, this card has been broken for the longest time, especially on ladder when it's over leveled. And I kind of want to see the Elite Barbarians succeed because I think it's a very just cool card concept. And even though I despise going up against them, I really want them to see the limelight. Every card in Clash Royale deserves to have some purpose in the game, and so I think that giving the Elite Barbarians the Royal Giant treatment would definitely help them out a lot. But anyway guys, that's going to be it for today's video. This is my monthly balance change video. I do one of these at the end of every month where I look at what cards I believe will be balanced. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like. I greatly appreciate it. I'll also leave a link in the description to the last video that I uploaded. And yeah, also if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that red subscribe button. I make all kinds of content based around Clash Royale, and I've started making content on Brawl Stars as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. But anyway guys, this is SolarFury signing off. Peace out guys, have a nice day.